Good evening, friends, and welcome. This is Lisa Maynard, and this is Kit Crush Wednesday. Thank you for joining me this evening. We are going to take a look at another kit that came out in January. I've been a little behind because I'm getting a workshop ready and some other things. So it's taken me a while to get to all these wonderfully fantastic new kits. But the kit we're going to look at tonight is called Lots to Love. And if you're joining me, let me know, hit that thumbs up, heart, hit the like button as soon as you join in. And we're going to go ahead and flip this camera around and get started because let's just get with it. Okay, here are the cards, friends. They are so cute. This is a non-stamping kit. And so they're very easy to put together and they're just so pretty. A lot of dimension to them. And even the card itself is popped up on some adhesive strips. So very cool. Very cool. And we've got 3 different cards. Hello. These have little flowers with the little yellow centers with the embellishment. And thanks. Lots and lots. So they're very cool. They're almost like a linen-y looking material. And then we have a white card that's a texture. I know you can't really see that, but once you feel these, they're so lovely to touch. So I'm going to go ahead and set these over here. And we're going to go ahead and dive right in to make these cards. So I'm going to bring in the kit. This, like I said, is a non-stamping kit. So we have the instructions per usual that are very handy to have. We have our little yellow embellishments for the center of our flowers, some little Stampin' Dimensionals, and some adhesive dots that we're going to need. We have adhesive strips. They're popped up, so they're like a dimensional, but they're in a strip form. So we have those. Then we have the sentiments in different languages, but there's 3 sentiments on here. We've got some little die cut flowers that you're going to use on one of them, some other die cut flowers you're going to use, and then the layering pieces to all 3 cards, the card bases and the envelopes. So let's go ahead and put the rest of this stuff back in that we don't need. And I'm going to, as far as I know, the only thing that I'm going to need out of here right now is these little yellow dots. So I'm just going to go ahead and take those out and set everything else aside. And then we're going to go ahead and get ready to start this kit. So let's bring in the first card. And here we go. We have lots of parts and pieces. So I'm going to set those over there for a minute. Set that over. And this is the card. If you can see, it's got a little bit of a beigey color to it, which just adds to how pretty it is. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish our fold on this to start with. Now, this is our layering piece, and this is going to fit exactly on our card front. So there's no trying to center it. It fits exactly on there. Now I went ahead and prepped all these for you. So on the layering piece, excuse me, you're going to put 4 strips of the adhesive that's the dimensional. Now, as you can see, I put it on the top. I tried to, don't try and center it. I just kind of started over to the left a little bit more because there's not a lot of room. So on these, you can kind of center them. There's plenty of room. And this is the size that they come, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a right and a wrong side to these layering pieces. Now, this side has a texture to it, and that is the front. This side does not. It's a little bit smoother, but it also, you can kind of see when you get them, there's a brownish hue to it. That is where it's been kind of cut. And so that is the back. So we're going to go ahead and take off the backing of these strips, and we're going to start by adhering this to our card base. Now, what I do, or what I've done, is I start on the left and I get it so that it is equal top to bottom And then it is going to fit left to right and top to bottom. So there we go. That's the first part of putting this card together. Now, again, I've prepped all these little pieces. So each one of these has a stamp and dimensional on the back of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to adhere these to our card. Now, these don't fit exactly on the flower, but because it's supposed to give a lot of dimension and a different look to it. So you kind of set them in the middle of the flower. And so you kind of get that double look to it. Lot going on, but it's really, really cool. So let's see this one. How did I do that? Yeah. So this one, again, it doesn't match. Oh, I didn't get the back of that up. It doesn't match exactly. So it just adds dimension to that flower that's underneath of there. So we're going to add the rest of our leaves here. And one goes here. Again, does not cover the leaf, and that's fine. It's not supposed to. When you're punching these out or taking these out, also be very careful when you're taking these little perforated leaves out, because they're very delicate and they can tear very easily. So we're going to go ahead and put one here, just like so, and then it can go over the edge a little, and then the other one here. So all of these pieces are pretty fragile. So take your time when you're getting them out and don't hurry. So there is our flowers on our card right now. See how pretty that is? Now we're going to go ahead and add our sentiment. Now I've got a Stampin' Dimensional and a glue dot, because part of this is going to adhere to this layering piece. So I wanted to make sure that it was going to stick down nicely. And we're gonna, let's move that over a little bit. It's gonna go right there, just like that. So we've got the dimensional inside this area and that glue dot right there. So let's finish this off. And we're gonna add the centers to our flowers with these pretty yellow embellishments, and one on each flower. Oop, there we go. And two in the middle of our little purple flower right here. And we have finished our first card. Thanks, lots and lots. Super cute. I love how these look. I love the feel of them and the texture and everything. Really, really fun. Okay, let's go ahead and bring on our next one. And again, we have lots of parts and pieces, so I'm going to set those all over there. And this time, we've got 4 flowers that we're going to be working with. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish this. And again, we have our layering piece. And I have already went ahead and prepped it just like I did before. So make sure that you get that all the way across the bottom. So again, we're going to take the backings off of these. Super fun kit, friends, and it does not take long at all to put these together, and you can get right to sending them out to someone special. Now, again, I'm going to line that up along the bottom and the top and the side, and we're going to give that a nice little press, just like so. Now, we are going to add our little white flowers. And again, there's a right and a wrong side to these, and you'll be able to tell when you start to put your Stampin' Dimensionals on. So be wary of that when you're doing that. And these go right on the white part of those flowers, just like that. And it adds, again, a little bit of dimension to it. Super cute. And I love these little die cut flowers also have texture to them. So you've got the texture of layering, you've got the texture of the paper itself, the die cuts itself, and super cute. And we're going to put that where, and we have one more flower here. Again, these are very delicate, so take your time when you're punching them out so that you don't rip them, because it would be easy to rip. Now I've prepped my hello, and I'm going to take the backings off of those, and this goes right in here like, let's get that up a little bit. It goes right in there just like that. Well, let's make sure we got that right below that. So we don't want it pushing down. There, we've got that. Now we get to add the insides to all of these cute little flowers. So every flower gets a little yellow embellishment to just make it pop even more than it does. And we're going to go ahead and put all these on here. And we've got 3 more to do. And our second card will be done. And we'll be moving on to the next one. These are very pretty colors. Also, I really like the colors that they've used in this. So there's our second card. Super easy, super fun to do. And let's move on to our third one. We're almost done. Can you believe it, friends? We're almost done. Lots of parts and pieces again. This one is landscape. It has 3. And now this one is more of a leaf type of design. So again, got all of our things prepped over here. Get our parts and pieces off of our layering piece. Now, what I discovered when I put this together the first time is I'm going to adhere all the parts except this bottom. I'm not going to take this backing off of the bottom piece. And I'll show you why when I get this done, because I had a heck of a time getting those leaves, if you will. Now let's make sure we got the bottom there. Those leaves into position. And I already started to mess it up. We're going to get this lined up. Well, no, we're not. We are having a time, my friends. I don't know if it's my eyes or what's going on. Okay, so there. Now we've got all of those done except for the bottom. And I'm going to show you why I didn't do that. And we're going to do that at the end. Because these layer in here. And see this little dot at the bottom of this? This tucks in here. And I could not, for the life of me, get this lifted up once I adhered it down. So that is why I left that until last. Now, if you can do it, more power to you. But I could not. And again, these are very delicate. So be careful when you're taking those off. Now, what we're going to do is we want to get that in there so that we can slip that in and kind of put it, you know, This one caused me problems before. And I think it's going to be okay. I'm going to put that right there and adhere that down. So it's a little off, but it's not bad. Okay, so I apologize if that went off camera for a minute. It is kind of tricky to get these in there. So just so you know, this one's a little bit better. I can lift that up and then set it down where it needs to be, right like that. And again, with the third one, we're going to go ahead and take the backings off of these. And again, very delicate pieces. So you will want to be careful when you're doing this, that you can go ahead and take those backings off very gently. And I'm going to go ahead and get that in and set that down just like that. So again, if I was off screen, I'm sorry. I have to look to see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be able to take the backing off of that. And then we're going to adhere that down just like that. Super easy. That worked for me. If you have something else that works for you, go ahead and do it. We've got this prepped and we've got a couple glue dots, mini glue dots, and a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, because this goes across the front of our card. And those dimensionals hit where they're supposed to. And there we go. That is our third card. So excited for you. This one doesn't have any embellishments on it because all of those little embellishments are for the flowers. So there we go, friends. Super easy, super fun. I love this kit. I hope you take a chance to get to play with it and go ahead and purchase one for yourself and see how fun they are. So those are all of our cards, and that is a wrap on tonight, and quick again. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this around and wrap up. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. These have been, in the last 2 weeks, very, very quick kits to put together. And this one I especially love because it's cards and you can send them to whoever you want to send them to. So make sure when you make cards, you send cards because that is the most important part of this. So thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate all your support. Hit that like button, show this to your friends, share it. If you want to rewatch it, go ahead. It's on my YouTube channel and here. And with that, we will see you next week for a kit with some stamping. Bye, friends.